beginning of May saw IE University play host to the conference Reinventing Higher Education. Bringing together panellists from academia, industry and the academic press, the conference aimed to foster discussion at an international level on the issue of best practice in higher education.
This is the first of an annual series of conferences that will take place here at IE University. The purpose is to analyze and to learn from models of excellence in change at higher education institutions. So we have invited the leaders of some of these prestigious centers in order to see experiences from mergers, from changes in the governance or changes in the financial structure, in order to see how those experiences can actually be exported to other contexts, to other countries. We live in a brave new world where technologies are changing the rules, stakeholders are becoming international, so we actually need to reinvent higher education.
We posed the question, does higher education need reinventing? And if so, why?
It does, like everything. I come from a technology background and we have to reinvent ourselves every other week. So maybe I'm a bit of an extreme. I think with the changing technology environment and the behavior of people that this technology allows, there's a need for changing a model that has been there for quite a long time.
We have to bring research and education closer together again. I mean, it's an important issue. Second thing is that we have to cope with the fact that more and more students are coming to the universities. So we somehow have to build up the universities and have more teachers, have more professors around. And third, I mean, having more international students.
No, I don't think it does need reinventing. You know, at the core, and that's what everybody has got to remember, and I think there's been a couple of people who have mentioned this. You know, it is research and teaching, and that's it. You don't need to reinvent that, but we do have to bring ourselves back to it all the time, and we do need to improve, but, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
In some sense, one could argue that reinvention perhaps is unnecessary. After all, there are elements of the way that we teach students that haven't changed perhaps in 1,000 years. On the other hand, the world that we are here to serve, the world that our graduates will enter, is changing radically. And so for higher education not to constantly be thinking about applying the principles of innovation to itself, to the way that we educate students, to the way that we do research, to the way that we collaborate with institutions in our own countries around the world or collaborate with industry, would be profoundly foolish and wrong-headed in my view.
A key topic for the conference delegates was diversity of models in higher education. We asked, in light of rapid technological change and globalization, what are the implications for this diversity?
In general, given this globalization, we have more chance of exchange, joint programs, etc. So in general, this moving towards more cross-culturally adaptive for the education. But on the other hand, there are some local needs and local demands, and everybody needs to still tailor their education towards the region.
There's several things going on. One is the need to be distinctive, the need to look different. On the other hand, the need not to be too different, otherwise you get out of your market. So diversity also comes with a bit of conformity.
One threat is probably with globalization and with technology, that diversity would be forgotten, and I think that would be a danger. I think diversity is very important, and we have to watch on this issue, on this parameter. But globalization, I liked globalization, excepted on one concern, which is the risk for diversity.
My view is that diversification will, in educational formats, will increase over time. I think that consumers are being empowered. They'll be demanding different forms of delivery, different specializations, and they'll have more access to information to be able to make those choices, which will further encourage universities to innovate, develop. So I think you'll have more diversity in models rather than less.
I think we will, in fact, have less diversity. I worry about that. But I think there will be a tendency to think in terms of one standard, one set of best practices, and I think that's a mistake. but I think we are veering in that direction, and hopefully conferences like this will make it less likely that we will embrace simply one set of ideas about how to run the university.
But you know, I'm a bit of a traditionalist. Okay, so I think although there are very diverse models and very different methodologies of teaching students, for me there'll always be the importance of the campus and the life that goes on in a university that's nothing to do with the specifics of what go on in the classroom. So whatever happens with that diversity, I think that will always be at the core. Of course, we'll be supplementing it with new methodologies, with enhanced e-communications of various sorts, mobile technologies, but I think that will just add. I don't think it will ever replace. That's my personal view.